one of our own, and I say this as he exists on our pocket, our little corner of the internet, that has its share of creatives that are unorthodox. And every other month, somebody does something big. And then when they do that, they end up getting under fire by way of the mainstream guys. It's just how it works. Because they understand that their old guard is, their foundation's shifty and shaky. You know what I mean? And they're in trouble. And they know that. They're going to be very, very protective of this going into the future because they understand that this is all they got. So this is why they go after YouTubers, people that are gaining influence, and people aren't going through the proper channels as they would deem to get their source of information. My man's Tugs, that umbrella guy, has been the source of a lot of, trying to dox him, all sorts of weird stuff happening. And I love his response to it. He's like, he's been making money off these Amber Heard simps. And he said, y'all going to end up paying for my house and I'm getting a platinum grill. It's the way to respond to these idiots. Just keep monetizing them. Okay. But weirdos, of course, mainstream media, they have been going after him because of that whole, it wasn't just him. Though Tug was one of the big ones. A lot of folks that had really been on, and to be fair, Tug didn't jump on a bandwagon. Let's be clear, and I want to give him a lot of credit for this. Tug didn't jump on the bandwagon with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp stuff. He was covering that before it was in. And then it became in, and yeah, we saw people try to latch on to that wagon, including people that I ironically debated and they lost on this channel. Now that trial's over, they ain't got nothing left, and it's going to be interesting to see. But Tug will be fine because he had been keeping his pulse on this as well as other stuff long before it had become the end thing, and he was rewarded for it, and he deserved it. He made a lot of money. He made, got gained a lot of followers, gained a lot of subs. He deserved it. He deserved every bit of that. And I want to be very clear on that. He called it earlier than it really, to be fair, than anybody I knew. Like I said, there were people that tried to latch themselves onto that wagon, and he had been there from the jump. He was driving that bad boy. So it's 100% deserved all of his growth. But that hadn't stopped these weirdos from being mad. My man's JB Augustine over at Bounding in the Comics has got things going with this article, really summarizing it. Unable to accept that practically no one found Amber Heard to be believable and seeking blame anyone else but their idol for her own loss. Fans of the supposedly former Aquaman 2 actress have launched a petition asking YouTube to take action against certain content creators, particularly That Umbrella Guy, by demonetizing their channels. And of course, this started by weirdos, and there's which petitions are petitions, they don't mean anything, but they're calling it targeted harassment. So I guess talking about Amber Heard crapping in the bed, dog stepping on a bee or something like that, whatever, is targeted harassment, according to them. And this is how they like to control rhetoric. They're going to, even if they are the bad actors, they're going to claim that you're the bad actor. They, of course, are still clinging on to Gamergate, as it notes here. It says allowed Tug to make over 600 videos just about Amber Heard, a project that earned him approximately $80,000. Congratulations, Tug, in 1 month. That's May of 2022, and that's what the Washington Post said. Good. I hope it makes more. Weirdos. And by the way, y'all do understand that off of these big stories, mainstream media makes money off of. They make money. They also have their own individual YouTubes and all that stuff monetized. But generally how they get it is the clicks through the ad revenue on their website. So they're also monetizing this. Even if they may be taking a completely different side, they also monetize it. But to these weirdos, it's okay for them to do it. Right? It's okay for them to do it. Number one, they're taking the side that they want them to take. And because they are a part of the establishment, it's perfectly fine. But no, these little independent cats, These guys that aren't really connected to some mega corporation, them making all of that money for themselves, that's a problem. Both social media and the HBO documentary Phoenix Rising Wood is accused. They're talking about the Manson thing. I've seen that stuff as well. Attempting, says Tug and other like-minded content creators to petition further asserts that the massive smear campaign have no place on the internet. What's the smear campaign? To skew public opinion, misrepresent information, radicalize individuals, and cause irreparable harm. We consider it very small to simply stop incentivizing the creation of this content by putting more safeguards in place. So they're demanding that the people stop making money off of it. YouTube stop paying people, which they do through the revenue share and all of that. I also saw this from one of the, if not the biggest defender of course, Amber Heard. And she's documented here people that have profited so much off of this. And she's talked about this change.org bullcrap petition as well, talking about how Tug made maybe $64,000 per month. How Nick Rekieta made over $135,000 on super chats alone, and other various creatives as well. These guys, of course, are people that are in our circle. Between Nick, good friend, Tug, good friend. I love those guys to death, and I'm glad that a lot of them saw growth just in covering this, and they don't like it because there's someone unapologetically covering it their unique way, and they're not having to go through the proper channels as they would deem. And that makes them so angry. CNN gets so mad at the fact that people like they used to mention Steven Crowder all the time and how he could draw more of a live audience than their little news stuff, because more people are interested in watching him than they are watching, I don't know, Brian Stelter, Mr. Potato Head. Y'all gonna have to get with the times. You're the archaic ones. You're part of the old guard. You're part of the archaic model. They can't stop us, guys. We're going to win. Right? If anything, you just amplified it because now it's the Streisand effect. They see you're trying to actively suppress a guy that is just making videos in YouTube, like my man's That Umbrella Guy. Just making his videos in the comfort of his own home. And they want to take him down. They don't want him to make money, and they're mad. Let them be mad, because we're going to win, and they can't stop us. This is where it starts. Again, when I talk about cultural renaissance, I am talking about it being different. It's not just in the space of like direct creation. It's also in its content. How do people get their information? How people consume their information, from news on down to whatever. It's the same thing. There are people that are able to make a killing off of not having to go through them. And that's what aggravates them so much. This is why they don't want to see alternatives come into fruition. They don't want to see Gina Carano see success. They don't want to see us see success. They'll demonize us. They'll call us names, docs, which, you shouldn't be doing that, number one. They'll get mad. They'll try to take our income. They'll do everything they possibly can, all the dirty tricks they pull out, because they're desperate. They understand that this is it. A lot of the authoritarians' left power existed upon, as I always say, perceived legitimacy. And it existed just by them being able to control all the different mediums it is that they control. Once that is rid of, they have absolutely nothing else. They don't. And they know that. They might not want to say it, but you got to look at their desperation. It's telling you everything it's telling you the whole game plan. They are terrified, okay? Utterly terrified. And we're just getting started. So get prepared. Even if you try to take people down, there's going to be others that come up. We're not going anywhere. Get over it. You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Cannon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.